Just want to finagle a couple things so that way, ideally, I can also have a device that'll show me, like chat and stuff when I'm live without necessarily needing like a whole ass, without needing to have the chat and stuff on the screen. Although realistically, because we want the nice promo of my book up on the screen. So we're gonna open just Twitch, I guess, on a different device, so that way I can keep track of chat in case someone wants to talk to me whilst we're live. But we're gonna open things up here with a quick just PSA. Please get out and vote in midterm elections when they come around. You see a lot of people trying to prevent people from voting. And a lot of those same people are also not voting for measures that 70% of all Americans want. So, again, keep track of your representatives, no matter their party. Keep track of your representatives. Make sure they align with your beliefs. Make sure they are doing the work that you voted them in to do. And if not, vote them out. Your local elections are... Philip DeFranco keeps saying your local elections are more important than big elections. Big elections are important, but your local elections are more important because right now, the people voted in local elections are the ones deciding whether or not you have the ability to vote, which is stressful and scary and really sounds like it shouldn't be legal, but here we are. Okay. Hi, Nugget. You're missing some cute Nugget time. But a PSA over. Let's talk about this show. And actually, I'm going to do a quick thing for us real quick. We're going to talk about the show La Doña. It is a telenovela from Telemundo. Fucking salty. So many fucking Telemundo shows have, season 2s out and available, but I can't see them because they're not on Netflix yet. I don't know if I just need to wait a full ass year before I can see next seasons, or if I've got to wait, or if it's just... Maybe Telemundo doesn't work with Netflix no more, and soon these shows that I love are going to be leaving Netflix. I don't know. I'm stressed about this. I started watching Enemigos Intimos years ago. I want to say 2 years ago I started watching that show, and I'm still waiting for season 2 to come up on Netflix, and it's not there. Granted, I don't think season 2 is done airing on, normal TV. I think I think they're still airing episodes, because good thing about Telemundo shows is the good thing about Telemundo shows is that they tend to have over 100 episodes per season, which I love, okay? I appreciate it. But bad news is it's going to take... If it is coming to Netflix, it's going to take a hot minute before we get it. But for this show, I'm going to read you the description of this show so you can kind of get the idea of what we're going to be talking about today. And then you can decide whether or not you want to hear me rant about stuff from this show. So, La Doña. Altagracia is a powerful woman who becomes ruthless, nicknamed the Man-Eater. Altagracia will not rest until she finds each of the men who murdered her parents and raped her. As a result of this rape, Altagracia has a daughter, Monica, whom she isn't able to raise because she is a constant reminder of the terrible act that marked her life. But destiny will reunite them when they both fall in love with the same man, Saul Aguirre, an incorruptible defense attorney who fights against women's violence. He becomes Altagracia's obsession, and she competes with Monica for his love, unaware that Monica is her daughter. Woo! So, this goddamn show. Where I am, we're going to talk about 2 specific situations that have been irritating the hell out of me as I watch this show. Number 1 is we're at this point where Saul Saul, because Altagracia, the reason why Saul and Altagracia met is because she's she's the owner of a construction company, and she's been doing a bunch of illegal shit to try and take the tenement or the apartment complex that Saul's father owns. And he came to be his father's attorney because she threw him in jail really with no reason, just to try and get this tenement. And so he came to try and be his father's attorney, get everything situated, help his father out. They end up falling in love. They break up because Saul's dad is murdered, pushed off of like a high level on one of her construction projects, and they see her there, so he thinks that she did it. And he breaks up with her and ends up falling in love with Monica, and they get together. Monica, though, because Altagracia is still jealous, so she does a bunch of illegal shit to try and separate Saul and Monica. For instance, she gets Monica thrown in prison, and with the intent of having her in prison for a couple years, but that plan ends up going south because someone betrays her and does the right thing and does not illegally detain these women. But while Monica's in jail, she, Altagracia goes there, and she goes and tells Monica that he doesn't really love her, that he's only with her because of the confusion over Saul's dad's death. And she also ends up getting extremely graphic details about the way that Saul, holds her and stuff when they are having sex. It's intense. And so Saul then is with Monica, and she says, you know what, you keep chasing after her, you keep coming to her defense on all of these cruel things she's done. She has thrown me in jail, and I can't be with you if you're going to keep going to her defense, keep running to her. So either if you want to be with me, you can never see her again. And he agrees to that. But then Altagracia gets kidnapped. He gets a phone call. Someone ends up revealing that that these people kidnapped her. And he decides, he's a lawyer, by the way. He decides that he is going to burst in, guns blazing, and save Altagracia's life. There's several issues I have with this. One, he's with the detective that he's been friends with when he gets the call and is revealed that Altagracia has been kidnapped, right? So he gets this call with this detective, and the detective's like, okay, I'm gonna call back up so someone can see with me what's going on out in this location that is supposedly the house of the kidnapping of Altagracia. And he's like, I'm gonna go with you. And the detective tries to tell him no, but Saul's like, no, either I go with you or I go alone. And she just takes him with her. That woman should have arrested Saul right then and there. That should have been the end of it. He should not, as a civilian, have been allowed to just go over, yeah, sure, you can come to this, site of a kidnapping. People are planning to kill this woman, so you're probably not going to be safe. But yeah, just come with me. It's fine. So that's number one issue with me. Number two is, so he does end up going back to Monica, and she's like, I can't be with you. You did run in guns blazing. You ran after this woman. I told you can't, I don't want you around her, and still risked your life to go save her. And it's frustrating because the show does a really good job of Saul and only Saul thought that this was a good idea and thought that this was an appropriate thing for him to do. And so I'm here just with the camp of everyone else in the show that's why the fuck would you do that? Because, yeah, at the end of the fucking day, you're not a cop. You're a lawyer. You risked your life. You're not trained to handle these types of situations. Secondly, side note, The detective ends up giving him one of her guns when they are there, because he was, again, like, I'm storming the place now. We're not waiting for backup. I'm storming the place now. Either you go with me and you give me a gun, or I'll go in, like, with nothing. Another time, he really should have just been fucking arrested. You should not have given him your gun. But okay. But again, like, you ran in, put yourself in danger, like, just threw yourself into this extremely dangerous situation. That's not something you do because, like, oh my god, someone's kidnapped and that's terrible. You do that because you love the person that's there. And if Xavier just told me, like, oh my god, my ex has been kidnapped, I'm gonna go, like, I know where she is, I'm gonna go find her. Like, no, bro. There are people for this, and you are not that people. And I would be very uncomfortable, like, again, knowing that you're going to go, like, risk everything to save the life of a woman that has thrown me in jail and keeps telling me how, like, good y'all's sex was. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And so they do end up breaking up, which, you know, that's the right move for Monica. But, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I want it to be like, oh my god, this was just stupid writing, but no, it's great writing because they make it very clear that only Saul thought that, like, this was a reasonable thing for him to do and that there should be no repercussions because, like, it's just, like, she's been kidnapped. Why wouldn't I go after it? Because you're not a cop, because you're not trained to, like, if someone points a gun at you, you only kind of know what to do. You're not prepared to go after some crime boss. You do not know how to handle that situation, but you don't care because you're in love with this woman, and that's a problem. But they're very clear about, like, this is just Saul thinking that it's a good idea because he is in love with her, and so he's blinded by that. But yeah, so it was just, so it's not like I'm complaining about the show. It's that I'm frustrated with the character of Saul. I personally think Monica and Adolfo is her father's doctor. I think they should get together. I think he's super sweet, and I love him. And I think that they would be a much better couple. I think she deserves way better than Saul, but whatever. Nugget, you good? My cats are losing their mind a little bit, so don't mind that, okay? Specifically, the orange one is, like, freaking the fuck out. If you have been on the Random Switch Gamer Twitch account, he has an emote of the orange cat. That's the one that's freaking the fuck out right now. He's also usually the cat that, like, he jumps up on the keyboard a lot. So if you go to watch a couple of his streams, you'll see Nugget. The other thing that I want to talk about today, how much time have I spent? It feels like I've only been talking for like 5, maybe 10 minutes. And granted, these streams are not intended. Are you not going to tell me how long I've been streaming? Fine. These streams are not intended to be super long things, you know. It's just us chatting. We're just chatting, hanging out. But I just want to check. So the second thing that we are going to rant about from La Doña is this other situation, which the other situation involves Nugget. There's just going to be some insanity happening in the background, and I apologize. We have a studio apartment, and he's hype right now. He's hype. The second situation we're going to talk about is, so we have this guy, Braulio Padilla, who is just terrible human being, murderer, rapist, the works. He finds out that his son is dating this poor girl. Her name is Lydia, and they only really know her because Diego, Braulio's son, his best friend hit her with a car, and but Diego had already been in love with her, and they ended up getting together, right? So lots of intense stuff happens to that because there's a lot of bias there. So Braulio insists that she's only with him for his money, and and wants to break Diego and Lydia up. He's tried all of the ways of pressuring his son, and none of those work. So what he ends up doing is he texts Lydia, hey, I want to really, like, put an end to all of this hostility. Like, I just want to make sure you want the best for my son, but his happiness is the most important thing to me. Let's meet at this hotel. Let's meet at the, like, deck of this hotel. It's public place, so you don't need to stress about it. I know I'm a murderer. We're going to meet public place. The deck of this hotel, the, like, patio of this hotel, to talk. They meet, they talk, but that's not the point of it. He ends up drugging her drink, taking her to a room, raping her, and with the intention of he wants his son to walk in afterwards and be like, he wants his son to walk in afterwards and see them together, and therefore he would convince his son that she's only after his money and she went and slept with the first person that offered her more. And I don't understand how he thought this was gonna go. Like, something that Diego, when he did go into the room, he did not notice was the fact that Lydia could really, like, not move. He walked into the room and she could barely, like, turn her head over. That was, he should have recognized the fact that she was not able to, like, get up and say something when he got into the room. And then the second she got into the room, she had no idea what was doing. She started crying. She was saying that he raped her, which is something that Diego really, like, his character would believe his dad would do. So I feel like the way they played Diego, he ends up just being very overwhelmed and leaving, but when he does kind of come to the conclusion that it's hard to say if he believes that Lydia had been raped or not. It's hard to tell if he believes that, but he for sure is just kind of on the offense of this woman, like, dad's penis has been inside of this woman. I can't not see that. So he doesn't want to he doesn't know if he can be with Lydia. At least not right now, if ever. So that's tragic. But I don't understand. So I think they did Diego well. I think they played Diego's character well to this situation. I can't understand what Braulio thought was going to happen. Like, did you think your son was going to see you having sex with his girlfriend? And whether, like, his only options are thinking you raped her or you consensually had cheated on his mother, his pregnant mother, and had sex with his girlfriend. And Braulio's like, we're family, it's fine, it'll blow over. No. Diego has constantly said, you are a shitty father. Like, I can't take you, like, I can't take you hitting me all the time, you berating me all the time. And Braulio's always just saying, oh, this is just how I love you. I don't want you to be weak. This is how I choose to love you. But Diego's constantly saying, no, cut that shit out. So when you proceed to not cut that shit out and go full force to the shittiest levels of that shit, what did you think? Like, he truly thought Diego was going to be like, that's my dad, you know, sleeping with my girl. He does this kind of thing from time to time. No, I truly, like, Braulio is cocky and he's very prideful. But this feels like someone that is completely unaware of how human beings work would think. I can't imagine someone who is so successfully manipulative as Braulio truly thinking that sleeping with his son's girlfriend is something his son could just brush off. Like, he tells Diego, when Diego gets to the hotel, he tells him, hey, go home, we'll talk about this later. What do you mean you genuinely thought he was gonna go home and wait for you so you could talk this over? Because Braulio gets home and is genuinely confused as to why Diego's not here. He should be here by now. I wonder what's keeping him. No! That felt so stupid for this character. That felt like one of the few, like, issues in writing. I can't think of someone who truly would think that wouldn't be an issue for you to sleep with the girl that your son's saying that he loves. You didn't think that would bother him that much? You thought he would want to sit down and have a civil conversation with you after that? Jesus. Other than that, with this show, I think the show is really fucking good. It is keeping me captivated. Oh my god, Gabino, I swear on my life, I said it. I said it in the very beginning of my streams. I knew Gabino was gonna kill Monica, and he looked like he finna. He looked like he trying to. But yeah, we got. I'm like close to the end of the show. And by close, I mean, I think there's like 40 episodes till the end of the show. I'm excited for them. An interesting thing I can say about it is that I did end up... Because I was very thrown. There's a lot of witchcraft in this show, which I was really not prepared for. So I, like, read through some of the show's later descriptions to see, like, where is this going? And I did find out how the show, at least season 1, is going to end, kind of. Like, there aren't too many spoilers in it, but I did find that out. And even with that found out, I'm still very much, like, even, like, knowing who's gonna be with who in the end, even knowing that, I'm still very much, like, on the edge of my seat. How are things gonna play out? I know Gabino's not about to kill Monica right now, but, like, at the same time, every part of me is like, oh my god, this bitch about to die. I guess she comes back to life or something, because this bitch is about to die. So that's something I think is really nice about the show, is, like, I know kind of how things are gonna end, but at the same time, I'm like, nope, it could go completely sideways and then do a 380 trick to get back on track. I don't know what's going on, and I really like that about the show. But that's me doing some rantings about La Doña. If you want to come back tomorrow, we are going to have, like, a mental health chat, and that's going to be fun. Sure, we'll use that word, but that's it for me today. Thank you guys so much. I did post my last stream up on my YouTube channel, No Ordinary Vlogs, and I had another stream earlier this morning, so I've been talking a lot today. I had a stream earlier this morning in which I described and, like, did one of my book streams. I talked about a book that I recently read, so that was also fun. But that's it for me on this. As you can see in front of you, the second book in my series, The Queen of Thieves, is available for pre-order right now. Oh. Notifications. The second book in my series, The Queen of Thieves, is currently up for pre-order right now, so go check that out. I hope you enjoy both books in the series. Working really hard. Currently working on book number 3. It's not exactly going to plan. Yesterday was supposed to be a really heavy work day, but I was wearing these fake nails, and with some skin issues I have, my tablet will only respond to the very tips of my fingers. So that means I can't wear fake nails, like, ever. So we love that. We love that. So I didn't find out that it was the nails until the end of the day, so we really got nothing done yesterday. Coco's up on the sink like she knows she's not supposed to be. But that's fine. I'm about to go do dishes anyway. Thank you guys so much for being here. And until next time, valedictions, friends.